Super Typhoon Ragasa slams the Philippines, Taiwan, and China, causing widespread devastation. Super Typhoon Ragasa ravages the Philippines and Taiwan, causing massive damage and heading toward China. More than a dozen mainland cities on continuous alert. Super Typhoon Ragasa has swept through the Philippines, causing numerous casualties, affecting tens of thousands of people, and leaving behind extensive damage. After rapidly intensifying over the Philippine Sea, Typhoon Ragasa developed into a massive super typhoon with sustained winds of more than 267 km in range. On September 22, Super Typhoon Ragasa headed straight for Northern Luzon in the Philippines, with sustained winds of 205 km range and gusts reaching 250 km range. The storm brought heavy rain, landslides, widespread power outages, and dangerous storm surges to coastal areas. As the typhoon approached northern Philippines, more than 10,000 people were evacuated from northern and central Luzon. Houses can be rebuilt, but lost lives cannot be replaced, the Philippine Department of the Interior emphasized. Video footage from Camiguin Island showed powerful winds and seawater surging into residential areas. Schools and offices in many areas, including the capital Manila, were shut down. According to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, JTWC, when Ragasa made landfall, it packed sustained winds of 270 km/h with gusts up to 295 km/h and moved at about 22 km/h. The storm's eye, 74 kilometers wide, passed directly over Calayan Island, unleashing hours of devastating destruction. Hospitals in Cagayan province were placed on high alert. Authorities also issued flood warnings for low-lying areas as Ragasa intensified rainfall, heightening the risk of severe flooding. The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines reported that 2 major transmission lines in northern Luzon collapsed after Ragasa swept through, cutting off power to parts of Cagayan and Abra provinces. Officials said repairs would begin once conditions were safe. Super Typhoon Ragasa approaches shutting down. Over a dozen cities in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, Ragasa, the strongest typhoon so far this year, is expected to make direct landfall on the Guangdong coast on September 24th, Beijing time. It is extremely powerful and poses a high risk of disaster. Currently, over a dozen cities in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan have shut down, implementing the 5 suspensions: classes, work, production, operations, and businesses. Ragasa will make direct landfall in Guangdong, affecting more than 10 provinces. According to the Central Meteorological Observatory, at 3:01 p.m. on September 23rd, the center of Typhoon Ragasa, the 18th typhoon of the year, was located over the northern South China Sea, approximately 550 kilometers east-southeast of Yangjiang City, Guangdong Province. Maximum winds near the center reach 417, 58 meters per second, a super typhoon. Ragasa is moving northwestward at 20 to 25 kilometers per hour and is expected to make landfall along the coast from Zhuhai to Zhanjiang, Guangdong, between noon and evening, Beijing time on the 24th at typhoon, or severe typhoon strength, force 13 to 15, 40-48 meters per second. After landfall, it will turn westward and gradually weaken. Analysts at China Weather Network stated that Ragasa, with its strong intensity and wide circulation, will bring typhoon-like rain to more than 10 provinces, including Guangdong, Guangxi, Fujian, Jiangxi, Hunan, Yunnan, Hainan, and Jiangsu, as well as Taiwan. Furthermore, cold air will contribute to the rainmaking process. Autumn typhoons combined with cold air often produce heavy rainfall, and precipitation in parts of South China may be rare for this period, possibly even breaking records. Typhoon rain may continue for 3 days in parts of Guangdong's coastal areas. The heaviest rainfall in eastern Guangdong, including Shanwei, will mainly occur from the evening of the 23rd to the morning of the 24th. In the Pearl River Delta, Shenzhen and Zhuhai will experience heavy rain from the night of the 23rd to the 24th, while in western Guangdong, including Maoming, rainfall will peak from the daytime to the night of the 24th. Some of these areas will experience torrential downpours with localized extreme rainfall. Rainfall intensity in parts of South China may even break historical records for this time of year. Since its formation, Typhoon Ragasa has been steadily increasing in intensity. From the night of the 21st to the daytime of the 22nd, it reached a peak intensity of 62 meters per second, super typhoon level, making it the strongest typhoon to impact China this year. Meteorological experts predict that the wind impacts of Ragasa will be more extreme than the rainfall. As the typhoon approaches the Guangdong coastline, its path will primarily deviate westward. Coastal areas such as Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, Macau, and Zhuhai will experience gales of force 9 to 10, with local gusts reaching force 17 near the typhoon's center. Over a dozen cities in Guangdong, Hainan, and elsewhere have implemented the 5 suspensions. On September 23rd, Haikou City, Hainan Province, announced the suspension of classes, navigation, kindergartens, work, and businesses. The Zhuhai Highway Port of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge suspended outbound customs clearance services from 3 p.m. on the 23rd, and the main bridge will be closed simultaneously. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge Maritime Safety Administration implemented temporary traffic control from 10 a.m. on the 23rd, prohibiting all ships from entering the bridge channel. In addition, the Central Meteorological Observatory issued an orange rainstorm warning at 6 p.m. on September 23rd. From 8 p.m. on September 23rd to 8 p.m. on September 24th, heavy to torrential rain is expected in parts of most of Guangdong, northeastern and southern Fujian, southern Zhejiang, and most of Jiangsu. As a result, some trains departing from Chengdu East, Chengdu West, and Chengdu South stations on September 24th, bound for Hong Kong West Kowloon, Shenzhen, Zhenjiang, Zhuhai, Guangzhou, Shanwei, Xi'an, and Shanghai, will be suspended. Hong Kong and Macau suspended 5 trains and hoisted the number 8 wind signal. Due to the impact of Typhoon Hakar, the third highest typhoon signal, number 8, was issued in Hong Kong and Macau on September 23rd. The Hong Kong Observatory issued the Tropical Cyclone Warning Signal, number 8, at 2:20 p.m. on the 23rd. Winds are expected to intensify further, and the observatory will consider issuing the gale or storm wind signal number 9 between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. on September 24th. The MTR Corporation announced that some high-speed rail services between Hong Kong West Kowloon Station and mainland destinations would be canceled before 6 p.m. On the 23rd, all services on this route will be suspended from 6 p.m. on the 23rd through the entire day of the 24th. The Airport Authority Hong Kong reported that, as of 10:30 a.m. on the 23rd, a total of 382 flights had been canceled and 43 delayed at Hong Kong International Airport. Cathay Pacific Airways suspended all flights from 6 p.m. on the 23rd and is expected to gradually resume flights during the day on the 25th, with more than 500 flights expected to be canceled. Hong Kong Express expects over 100 cancellations. Hong Kong Disneyland has been closed since the issuance of Typhoon Signal number 8. Ocean Park since 12 noon on the 23rd, and the Peak Tram since 2:45 p.m. Hong Kong public hospitals suspended all non-emergency services starting from the afternoon of the 23rd. All welfare service units under the Social Welfare Department, child care centers, neighborhood support programs, elderly centers, and day rehabilitation units were also closed. In Macau, the government announced early on the 23rd that all government departments would remain open until 5 p.m., after which civil servants would stop work. Only the police, judicial police, fire department, customs, and hospitals will maintain emergency services. All casinos in Macau were temporarily closed, and companies were required to arrange for employees and customers to leave the premises within 2 hours before signal number 8 was issued. All universities, secondary schools, primary schools, and kindergartens were closed from the 23rd to the 24th. Authorities also urged the public to stockpile 3 days' worth of food and water. Macau International Airport estimated that about 250 flights would be affected between the 23rd and 24th. Flights were significantly reduced after 4 p.m. on the 23rd, with virtually none taking off or landing on the 24th. Around 150 flights were canceled. The airport operator expects flights to gradually return to normal by the morning of the 25th. Taiwan is gradually emerging from the storm's orbit, but heavy rain is still expected in many areas. The Central Weather Administration lifted the land typhoon warning at 8:30 a.m. on September 23rd and the offshore warning at 8:30 p.m. Although the main typhoon has moved away, the heavy rain alert remains in effect on the 23rd due to the typhoon circulation. On Thursday evening, the CWA issued heavy rain advisories for Kaohsiung City, Pingtung County, Hualien County, and Taitung County. Very heavy rain for Yilan County, and heavy rain for New Taipei City, Taoyuan City, Taichung City, and Nantou County. Warnings were also issued for Keelung City, Taipei City, Hsinchu County, Chiaya County, and Tainan City. In addition, due to flooding of rivers and impassable roads, many counties and cities suspended working classes on the 23rd and 24th, including Meishan, Fuxing, and Lafulan 3 Li in Taoyuan District. Some high-speed rail, Taiwan Railway, flights and sea routes were also suspended.